Hi everyone, it's Rhonda here from the Clever Corvid Art and Art Workshops. Today we're going to continue talking about cartooning. Remember this guy? Well, we drew this guy based on just using circles and other shapes to build a body so that we can create a cartoon character. But as you'll see here, this person is standing very straight. And when we drew our cartoons, we had them standing very straight too. But most of the time, people are moving, right? So that's what we're going to focus on today, is how to make your cartoon character look like they're in motion. Are you ready? All you need is a piece of paper and maybe your drawings that you did before that used shapes in order to create your characters, and a pencil or a pen or a marker. Pencil's always the best to start with though, and then we'll add some marker later. Sound good? So go get those supplies and let's get started. So if you remember in the last workshop, the most important part of the body where we bend the most is at the joints. So our arms can move at the shoulders, they can also move at the elbows and also at the wrist. With the legs, they can move at the hips, they can move at the knees, and they can move at the ankles. We also have our head that's quite flexible and can move around, right? So those are the most important parts for getting motion drawn in our cartoon characters. So for today's workshop, you might actually want to ask a family member in your home if they can pose for you, and if they can't, you can look at yourself in the mirror to come up with some ideas of different action poses that you can do. So make sure that you have a mirror that you can see yourself in. Even your reflection in your window will work for that. And or ask somebody in your family if they're ready to do an action pose for you. Okay? So here's our cartoon character standing just straight. Now what I want you to do is go take a look at yourself in the mirror or in your window reflection, or get somebody to pose for you in a running pose. So it looks like your arms are swinging and your legs are in motion, and you're going to notice that areas here and here and here really change and bend. So let's take a look and see what happens. The head kind of stays the same. The body kind of stays the same. But there's a huge difference of what happens with the arms, right? One arm really starts to swing back. And the other arm starts to also swing. Our arms start to swing because we're pumping the body forward. And our legs really change too. See how everything starts to bend? Get those legs moving. Wow, he definitely looks like he's in motion compared to him, doesn't he? Standing still, moving. So if I was just to use a marker to draw lines on these characters to show their action, that's pretty straight, pretty straight. See that? It's all pretty straight. So that's a person standing. What happens to these lines when they're in action? Body is still straight. See that? Look at how much that bends. It's just a stick person, but it really helps us to capture the motion of the person. Maybe we should start trying to draw a cartoon just using lines like this. So you have two choices here. You can use shapes and bend at those circle joints, or you could use lines. Let's try it. Perhaps I want to show my character slipping and falling on a banana peel. And I'm just going to use lines for the body. So if I slipped and fell, my arms would definitely go up in the air. And my legs would probably fly up into the air too. Whoa! See how I drew that stick man just to show the arms and the legs flying into the air? What happens when I start to build up on that now? See how I'm able to add all of the shapes back in that I've used before? And we're going to bend this a little bit. And there's the feet. Make that foot a little bit bigger. Definitely looks like he's flying through the air, doesn't he? So I could take these characters and I could start to add the features like we learned before. So, uh-oh. There he is with his mouth open. Whoa. Maybe his hair is flying up. Let's put a shirt on him. His fingers are out. Oh no. Now let's get those legs in motion. He's wearing shorts. Looks like he's flying, doesn't he? In the air. And remember, you can erase all of those pencil lines afterwards. Where's that banana peel? There's that banana peel that he slipped on. Now I'm going to show you some old comic book pages, and I want you to see if you notice anything about the action of these characters. There's one. That's the Bionic Woman. Here's one. See Bugs Bunny? Halfway through the motion of slipping. Here's one of Archie. Here's one of Little Monsters. A little bit of action going on there. Here's one that shows Superman and Batman flying in the air. Did you notice anything in particular about those pictures? I'll go back and I'll show you with Bugs Bunny here. There's something added to this drawing just to make it look like it's even more in motion. So the character is drawn halfway through the motion instead of at the beginning of the slip or the end of the slip where he's already back down on the ground and hurt. They've used something called action lines. And action lines really help to make the movement look even more dramatic. So if we go to our person that slipped on the banana peel, look what happens when I start to add these lines. Whoop. Looks like he's moving even more, right? But I can make that even more dramatic. So we know that that banana peel had something to do with that slip. If we go back to this jogger, we can do the same thing. We know the elbows move and the arms move when somebody is running. Same with the knees and the feet. It doesn't have to be a lot of motion lines to show that they're in action, but if you want to make it look like it's really speedy, then you can add some directional lines in behind them that makes it look like they're really zooming away. That's like a cloud of dust with just some curved lines. Now look at how fast that character is going. So now I'll do a full cartoon drawing from beginning to end, step by step, of let's do a ballerina dancer. So, drawing very lightly, I'm just going to get those lines drawn in of the motion that a ballerina dancer would be doing. Something like that. That looks like somebody dancing. So now I'm going to start adding in my shapes. Remember, the shapes can be different. They don't have to be ovals all the time. Remember when we did all the different kinds of shapes for bodies? That was a really fun lesson. If you haven't seen it, just go back to my videos and you'll see that we learned how to draw shapes or draw cartoons using shapes. There, now I have all of the body parts drawn. I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some features to this dancer. Let's see. Very happy dancer. With some lovely curly hair. And perhaps my dancer will be wearing a fancy skirt. And there's the legs and the feet. I think my dancer will be barefoot for this one. And there's the other leg, nice and bent because they're dancing and spinning. Arms are up in the air. There's the other arm. So far so good, but what do I need to add? Do you remember? Action lines. So maybe I want it to look like this person is spinning. So I could have put lines just around the elbows and knees to make it look like there's action going on. But maybe I'm going to draw some actual curved lines to make it look like my dancer is spinning. See how I changed those action lines? Oh yeah, look at that motion. Awesome. And then I could do a few around the feet, around the hands as well. Now she's really in motion. There, I waited for my marker to dry and I went back in and I erased all of my pencil lines. So now I'm just left with a fantastic cartoon drawing of a ballerina dancer spinning. So remember these important points when you're drawing a cartoon character in action. You want to make sure that they Bend at the joints, so at the elbows and at the knees and the ankles and the shoulders and the hips. You want to make sure you draw the cartoon character halfway through the motion, not when they have just started the motion or when they have finished the motion. Halfway through. And you want to add action lines. Remember, you can add just a couple or you can add a lot to make them look like they're really moving. And finally, have fun. I hope you had fun learning how to draw cartoon characters in motion so that they have action. It'll make your cartoon drawings a lot more dynamic and vibrant and interesting to look at. We're going to do one more cartooning lesson. The next time I'm going to show you how to use markers in unique ways to color in your cartoon characters and bring them to life even more. So I hope to see you then. Make sure to click like and subscribe to my page so that you can keep on getting workshops like this and try art at your home. Have a great day. Think art.